101. To secure for you fame, credit as well as blessings, the help that you give to men in need should possess the following attributes. Whatever its extent, it should be considered by you as trifling, so that it may be granted a high status. It should be given secretly. Allah will manifest it, and it must be given immediately so that it becomes pleasant. 102. Your society will pass through a period when cunning and crafty intriguers will be favored by status, when profligates will be considered as well-bred, well-behaved and elegant elites of the society, when just and honest persons will be considered as weaklings, when charity will be considered as a loss to wealth and property, when support and help to each other will be considered as favor and benevolence, and when prayers and worship to Allah will be taken up for the sake of show to gain popularity and higher status. At such times, regimes will be run under the advice of women, and the youngsters will be the rulers and counselors of the state. 103. Imam Ali's garment was very old with patches on it. When somebody drew his attention towards it, he replied, "Such dresses, when worn by men of status, make them submissive to Allah and kind-hearted towards others, and the faithful Muslims can conveniently follow the example. Vicious pleasures of this world and salvation are like two enemies or two roads running in opposite directions or towards opposite poles, one to the north and the other to the south. Whoever likes to gain the pleasures and pomps of this world will hate austerity in life, which is necessary to gain salvation. Reverse will be the attitude of a man desirous of achieving eternal bliss. One has to adopt either of the two ways of life, and as they both cannot be brought together, a man has to choose one of them. 104. Nawf bin Rizala Bakali, the famous scholar of the early Islamic days, says that one night he was with Imam Ali. In the middle of the night, Imam Ali got up from his bed, looked for something at the stars, and inquired of Nawf whether he was awake. Nawf said, "I got from my bed," replying, "Yes, amirul-momineen, commander of the faithful, I am awake." Imam Ali said, "Nawf, those are the fountain people who adopt piety as the principle of their lives and are fully attentive to their welfare for the hereafter. They accept bare earth as the most comfortable bed and water as the most pleasant drink. They adopt the Holy Quran and prayers as their guide and protector, and like Prophet Jesus Christ, Isa, they forsake the world and its vicious pleasures. Nawf, Prophet David, Daud, once got up at such an hour in the night and said, this was the hour when prayers of everyone who prayed were accepted, except of those who forcibly collected revenues, or who were scandalmongers, or were persons in the police force of a despotic regime, or were musicians. 105. Those who give up religion to better their lot in life seldom succeed. The wrath of Allah makes them go through more calamities and losses than the gains they gather from themselves. 106. There are many educated people who have ruined their future on account of their ignorance of religion. Their knowledge did not prove of any avail to them. 107. More wonderful than man himself is that part of his body which is connected with his trunk, with muscles. It is his brain, mind. Look what good and bad tendencies arise from it. On the one hand, it holds treasures of knowledge and wisdom. And on the other, it is found to harbor very ugly desires. If a man sees even a tiny gleam of success, then greed forces him to humiliate himself. If he gives way to avarice, then inordinate desires ruin him. If he is disappointed, then despondency almost kills him. If he is excited, then he loses temper and gets angry. If he is pleased, then he gives up precaution. Sudden fear makes him dull and nervous, and he is unable to think and find a way out of the situation. During the times of peace and prosperity, he becomes careless and unmindful of the future. If he acquires wealth, then he becomes haughty and arrogant. If he is plunged in distress, then his agitation, impatience, and nervousness disgrace him. If he is overtaken by poverty, then he finds himself in a very sad plight. Hunger makes him weak, and overfeeding harms him equally. In short, every kind of loss and gain makes his mind unbalanced. 108. We Ahlul Bayt, chosen descendants of the Holy Prophet, hold such central and balancing position in religion that those who are deficient in understanding and acting upon its principles will have to come to us for reformation, and those who are overdoing it have got to learn moderation from us. 109. A divine rule can be established only by a man who, where justice and equity are required, neither feels deficient nor weak, and who is not greedy and avaricious. 110. Suhail bin Hunayf Ansari was a favorite companion of Imam Ali. At the time of Imam Ali's return from Sifr, he died at Kufa of the wounds sustained in the battle. His death left Imam Ali very sad, and he said, "Even if a mountain loves me, it will be crushed into bits." It means people are tested with my love, and to prove it, they have to pass through loss and calamities. 101. To secure for you fame, credit as well as blessings, the help that you give to men in need should possess the following attributes. Whatever its extent, it should be considered by you as trifling, so that it may be granted a high status. It should be given secretly. Allah will manifest it, and it must be given immediately so that it becomes pleasant. 102. Your